What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another stream. I hope you are all well. I've been muted the past two streams that I've started. I'm hoping that I'm not muted now. I don't think I am. Welcome back, everyone. It is Game Week 8 deadline stream. Game Week 8 deadline on Friday evening. I'm all over the place already. This is normally a more smooth intro. But anyway, Game Week 8 deadline is this evening. And it is good to have FPL back, of course, as we missed Game Week 7 as well. Because that was completely cancelled. Again, not muted. It's nice to know that for once I've started well. Yeah, the specs are on today. I try and wear them a lot. The only issue is I don't wear them in my videos because I get a lot of reflection in them. And then when I do the green screen with reflection, it tries to take half my face away. But that's why I don't have them on all the time. But yes, today is Game Week 6 time. There are a lot of you on wildcards, I would imagine. So let me know in the chat if you are on wildcards. We'll go through that. We would have also got a free hit. You see, look like here. Like it tries to... I might take them off in a minute. We'll go through wildcard drafts. We'll go through free hit drafts. We'll go through my team. And I'm not on wildcard. Yeah, I'm not on wildcard this week. I've looked at wildcard drafts. I did consider it earlier in the week. I'm not going to do it. I do have a plan now on what I'm going to do this week and what I'm going to do with my wildcard as well. I've got a transfer that I need to make on stream, but I am not planning on playing my wildcard. Not 100% on what I'm going to do with my transfer, but I'm pretty certain on a couple of potential moves for me. So before we get started, we'll get into all your questions. We'll do all of it. Drop any questions you have. Say hello in the chat first. Say hello if you're in there, and make sure you've liked the stream as well. If we can just start off with a quick 100 likes on the stream for all you early guys. Say hello. We'll do a usual round of hellos, and then we will do a bit of a quick fire Q&A to start off the stream as well. So who have we got in today? We have got quite a lot of you in already. Happy Friday, everyone. Hope you all have a nice weekend when it finally arrives. Matt, Io, Jack, Maestro, Cyan, Robin, Nearmal, Jack, Chris, Dan, Liam, Ogan, Magic, Stefan, Joshua, Harrison, Andy, Maestro again, Luca, Aaron, Hendra, Iguava, Mark. Hello and welcome to all the members and moderators in today. If you do want to support the channel, do consider joining as a channel member. There are two of them. There are two tiers, basic tier and then a tier 2, or the top tier now it's called, which gets you access to the group chat with myself and all the other members in there as well. JT, Jack, Connor, Sean, everyone in, thank you all again. Smash that like button before we get started and let's kick on. We're also aiming for 33,000 subscribers during today's stream as well, which is not too far away at all. So hopefully we can get there. The support recently has been incredible. We only need 50, and I'm sure there's 50 of you in here already who are not subscribed. But will Foden play? I think so. I am just waiting on Jump the Wave to produce their predicted lineups before I officially decide on mine. Before I officially decide on my transfers. Julio, welcome. You think your team is looking solid this week? Some of you will be on wildcard, but if you've got a team that you're happy with when you're not on wildcard, then congratulations. I'm not that happy with my team, but I am planning on saving my wildcard. I am on a cup of tea, always a cup of tea and a glass of water to go with my streams. Do I reckon St. Maximin will play? No. So the press conference from today was very secretive, but I wouldn't be confident that St. Maximin is involved. He does tend to have recurring injuries, and I think they will not want to rush him back. They will not want to rush him back any sooner than they need, and I think they'll give him. The international break off. I think they'll give him the international break off. Will I play with just 10? I will make another transfer. Hang on one sec. Sorry, yes, I got one free transfer. So I already made one, as you might have seen in my team selection video from this week. And I brought in Pope as a replacement for Sanchez. And I'm happy that I did that. I was going to do that move whether I wildcarded or not wildcarded this week. So happy that I did that. And then I've got a second free transfer, which was a couple of things. I was pretty set on it being gross out to another cheap midfielder. It really wanted it to be some Maximin. But the more I look at the strategy that I'm going to play with my team, I think a wildcard over the international break makes a lot of sense. I need to get out of the mindset that a wildcard is this big thing this season, that you have to have a team that's in complete disarray to go and do it. I think wildcarding over the international break, there are enough players that I want in my team going forward now that I don't have, that I will be having to book in transfers for the next 4 or 5 weeks, that then I know I'll miss bandwagons going down the line. By the time I would play my wildcard in game week 13, which was the plan, I feel like I'll lose too much ground between now and then that I'll gain between game week 13 and game week 18 if I decide to hold my wildcard. So it was originally going to be game week 13, but I'm pretty certain that I'm going to play it over the international break now. And as a result, I don't need to keep Salah, right? So my big plan was, okay, I can keep Salah and Trent on my bench. I will play them against Brighton next week. But now I don't need to worry about that because I'll bring Salah back in my wildcard if I want to have him for that Brighton fixture. So I would then just sell him this week, and I basically have a 1 week punt on any midfielder that I want. I'm looking at a couple of options. De Bruyne, the main one. Then De Bruyne, the main one. Also looking at Kulusevski as well as a bit of a 1 week punt. I like Saka as well, but of course I got triple Arsenal, so I can't go and do that. Sorry, some questions. I said I would do some quick fire questions, but Hot Dog knows, thank you for the first super chat of the stream. Massively appreciate it. Antonio, Mitrovic, Isaac, Watkins, Tony or Ings. If I could only own one of them, Mitrovic is my number one forward I would want to own at the moment. Then probably closely followed by Tony. I still back Tony over Isaac. Now, it does sound like Callum Wilson is going to be out for slightly longer than people maybe expected him to. And that's good for Isaac. It means he should play through the middle. But no Wilson, no St. Maximin. It just worries me a little bit about that Newcastle attack. So I would be favouring going in on... I would go and get Tony and Mitrovic along with Haaland is what I plan on wildcarding to next week. When I've built my drafts, thinking I did a lot of planning today with my team, wildcarding over the international break, I think it will be Haaland, I think it will be Tony, and I think it will be Mitrovic as my front three. I'm not wildcarding this week. I did consider it, but I think I will wildcard now over the international break. Kane and Foden or De Bruyne and Isaac? This is a question that's been asked so many times. Kane and Foden or De Bruyne and Isaac? For me, it's so close. Every time I read it, I want to answer something different to the time that I answered before. I think it's De Bruyne and Isaac, but you need to pay a little bit of attention what you could do further down the line. Kane, De Bruyne and Isaac makes it much easier for you to go and get like Salah back in your team than Kane would. But game week 11, let me get the fixtures up. This is really important for this, that I only realised this afternoon. Game week 11, when it is Liverpool-Man City, Harry Kane is at home to Everton. Harry Kane is by far the best captaincy shout in game week 11, which is why I think I favour Kane and Foden now when looking at that dilemma, just because of that game week 11 captaincy. I don't think I'll be putting it on Haaland. I won't have Kane in my team looking at my wildcard drafts. If you can get Kane in for this week, I think you're set up in a really good place to push on in that week. So it depends how nailed you think Foden is the only concern, right? Because KDB and Isaac are going to play every single week. Kane should play every week, but you might not get Foden every week. That is where the slight issue comes. But if they all play every week, then it's Kane and Foden for me. Bit of a long-winded answer, but it's something that we've been asked quite a lot. I've seen it a lot of questions. It seems to be a big dilemma for people on Wildcard, what to do with the second premium in your team. So with that in mind, let me show you what my sort of latest Wildcard draft would be. I'm not playing it this week, as I said, but I think free hit there. Wildcard here. I think this would be what I would wildcard to this week. And this has Kane and Haaland in. Now, there's actually no Foden in this. I've gone with all those mid-price mids. So I've got Maddison, I've got Zaha, and I've got Bowen in there. And then Martinelli, it would be a 3-4-3 pretty much most weeks with this team. There is a little bit of money left in the bank. There is $1 million in the bank for people, anyone wanting to pick this team on a wild card. You worry you don't have enough money, you should have it. It's got $1 million spare in the bank. So yeah, you should be able to afford this team pretty easily. Bowen, St. Maximin or Zaha for your wild card. It depends if you need them. It definitely isn't St. Maximin. Bowen is much better for the next 2 weeks, right? Where is the fixture ticker? Here. So Bowen for the next 2 weeks plays Everton and Wolves, right? And Zaha is blank and then Chelsea. But if you don't need him for the next 2 weeks, then it's Zaha. Long term, between now and game week 16, let me go sort by difficulty. This is the Fantasy Football Scout website. Anyone who wants to sign up, there's a link in the description. Between now and when the international break, Crystal Palace then have a lovely run of fixtures. So he's better long term, but short term it's... Ooh. How's the music on the notifications and stuff? Let me know if it's too loud. Just for this game week, I'm playing wildcard next week. Sessegnon, KDB and Isaac, or Cancelo, Bailey and Kane. So we've actually had it confirmed, well, pretty much confirmed, that Leon Bailey is going to start tonight. My worry in that is Sessegnon and whether he's going to play. I'd probably go Cancelo, Bailey option and Kane. Neco, Andreas, Patterson, would I start two? Andreas definitely plays. I'd probably play Patterson out of the two because then otherwise you've got Neco Williams against him. Hot Dog Nose, thank you very much for becoming a top tier member. Drop me a message over on Twitter straight away and I'll get you added to the group chat as soon as the stream has ended, or I might even do it during it. But drop me a message on Twitter saying that you've joined and I'll get you added straight away. Son or KDB for Salah? It's not Son for me. Son has looked so subpar. I don't even know if he's going to start this weekend. I think in the Jump the Wave, let me see if their predictions are out. Let me see if their predictions are out, because yes, they are. So anyone who doesn't know, they do these predictions based on like lots of fans. So I help with the Chelsea one, for example. So what it has is like along the top, the players. So who was the original one we were talking about? So basically, they're practically all predicting KDB to start, which is good. Those of you going on Gundogan, he's dropped down a bit. Only 68% predicted to start. Stone's looking like there's a couple of Mahrez, Grealishes, Alvarez. It's basically that third spot, but people think Bernardo Silva will come in again. He was benched in the Champions League, so that's no surprise. Arsenal here. Again, nothing really. Jesus, Martinelli, Saka all predicted to start. Tomiyasu versus White. There's a little bit more of a debate there. And what else have we got? I'm not even sharing my screen. Duh. Here we go. De Bruyne, Antony, or Foden and Kane. De Bruyne and Tony. I like Tony as an option. And then, sorry, so this is the Spurs one. I realised I wasn't sharing my screen. Perisic is 63% chance to play. Sessegnon 50%. So whoever was earlier asking if you should go and get Sessegnon, that would be enough to concern me. Kane predicted to start by them all. Son is only at 63%. So I wouldn't go buying Son this week. I would definitely much prefer Kulusevski, who's got a 96% chance of starting. There. So also the Arsenal one there is as expected. The Man City one there as well. Is Dean Henderson the greatest keeper of all time? No. Seems to love saving a penalty though. Can I zoom in? I don't. Apparently not. It's not letting me. Ooh. Cool. Let me get my team back up on screen for you all. If you guys are enjoying, please make sure you have subscribed to the channel and like the video as well. We are so close to 33,000 subscribers. We need 43 of you, which there must be in the chat. And we are so close to 200 likes on the stream as well. bring in Soufal or Cresswell, I'd go Soufal. I'd probably go Emerson over them all at 4 million and just go with him because I think he'll keep his place at wing back. He's looked pretty good. I'd go him at 4 million. If you want to go up for a slightly more nailed option, then I'd go Soufal. If I could only field 8 players this week, would I definitely wildcard? Yeah, definitely. The wildcard team next week is not that different to the one this week. The only difference is it kind of allows you to do a little bit more with Liverpool if you wildcard over the international break. Your bench looks a little bit different because you don't have to shoehorn in players to have 11 out this week. But I'd be wildcarding this week if I had anything less than like a full 11. If I couldn't get a full 11 with a -4, I'd probably wildcard this week. I think that's the situation they're in. The big thing that I think people need to understand this season compared to last season is how different the wildcard being played is now versus last year. Because last year you could hold that wildcard up to game week 16 and then go game week 16 to 30 with your wildcard and then a second wildcard. But because we get a forced wildcard effectively over the international break, over the World Cup, it basically means that you have to play your wildcard in the first 16 weeks. And to be honest, you probably have to play it in the first 13 weeks to get anything real out of it, which basically means we need to be wildcarding when it's not quite as severe a situation than maybe it is in previous seasons. Like, I used to wildcard only when my team was in complete disarray, which is a complete different mentality that we need to have this season. And it's taken me a while to get my head around it. And I've been stubborn with my wildcard in previous years, and I think I need to be less stubborn on that now. Is it okay to wildcard this week with Saka in this team and bring in Zaha later and Patterson over Emerson? Yes, all of those are fine. My only thing about Saka, if you're going to have a placeholder of a midfielder before bringing in Zaha, is that the best option to go with? Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, Villa, Fulham, Southampton, West Ham. Like, I probably would punt on Bowen before I punted on... I can't even remember Saka, to be honest. Just the fixtures are better. But Arsenal, Brentford away, Tottenham at home is not great given the form that Saka's been actually in terms of FPL returns. So it's pretty close. But this is what you're basically picking because from game week 10 onwards, everyone will have Zaha. Zaha and Maddison become such like template picks after this week for Maddison, but then after the following week as well. So if we look at the fixture ticker from all the way up to the World Cup, but we remove this week, Bournemouth first, but then Palace second, right? So Zaha again becoming a big pick. And on my wild card, I'm looking at Gaeta as well. The Palace defence looks really nice. Everton in there. Pickford potentially, but I don't think people are going there. But a few of those others, West Ham also looking nice, the likes of Emerson. The only issue with West Ham is if you're picking Emerson, game week 12, when there's the blank game week, Man City versus Arsenal, they have Liverpool when you'll probably want to play all your bench players. So that's the only little thing to worry about if you go with Emerson. You'll probably need him in game week 12 and he plays Man City. So Captain Kane or Haaland, I would still be on Haaland this week. Wolves have been good in their data. Hang on a minute. Sorry, Yeah, no worries. Foden or Bernardo? Probably Foden. He's just more involved, isn't he? I'd probably go Foden out of the two. What's my take on wildcard this week? Kane, De Bruyne and Haaland and adjust along the way. It's not impossible. I just still think 3 premiums is too much to really get the squad balance that you need. I just think it's too much personally. But if you find a team that you're happy with all 3, again, as I said, this is the team, if anyone wants to wildcard, that I would be wildcarding into. I'm pretty certain it would look like this. Fofana might end up... You might want to change Fofana, for example, but I would be pretty certain that I'd be wildcarding to something that pretty much looks like this. You get to bench James, Zaha, Fofana this week, so play a 3-4-3. Then James, then you can bench like Andreas from next week as well. Julio, thank you for renewing your membership. Pope, Neco Williams, Trippier, Burn, Maddison. Presumably that's your wild card. Again, it's pretty similar to what I want. The only thing is you've got Bernardo in there instead of having a... I don't know who else was in my midfield. Bowen, Maddison, Bernardo, Martinez. Oh, you've got no Andreas. You've gone for a big midfield 5. I think Andreas is good value, though. I'd probably try and get him in. I don't think you need all of those 5 midfielders. But... And you've only got 2 defenders. That team doesn't add up. You're missing a player. But anyway, Bowen or Gundogan... I'd punt on Bowen. I don't love him as a pick, but he's fine short term for the next couple of weeks. Should you go Kulusevski? I think he's going to start. It's a really nice fixture this week. Long term, there is a concern with Richarlison looking really good about who he comes in for. But short term, he's an absolutely fine pick. Will I bring in KDB? So that is the plan. So I've got one free transfer to make, and I'm pretty certain it's going to be Salah to De Bruyne, because I'm going to wildcard over the international break. So I basically have a 1 week free punt on whoever I want to. Oh, sure, it's Cancelo. Then, yeah. Team looks nice. Cancelo over one of those mids, I imagine. But, yeah. Yeah, that's the plan. And then I will line up like this with Salah in my starting 11. The only thing is I am slightly... Do I want Salah, or do I want De Bruyne, or do I want Kulusevski is basically my pick. But, yeah. Is Gordon a good replacement for Zaha? A good placeholder? Yeah. Everton over the next 2 are quite good fixtures. They have Southampton in the second one and West Ham this week. So, I can't put you off it. Ooh. I think he's a fine placeholder. You can definitely... Oh, I deleted it anyway. Yeah, I don't dislike it. I actually looked at him this week when I wasn't necessarily going to wildcard next week. I did look at him and I quite like it. Sorry, there was a super chat from Janigna77. You have neither Andreas or Bailey. You already used your wildcard and want to bring one in to start the game week and also game week 12. Given Bailey starts tonight, I'd probably back Bailey over Andreas. If it's because you don't necessarily know Bailey's going to start. Who do they play in game week 12? Who do Aston Villa? They play each other. Yeah, I'd probably go Bailey. If I had to pick one of them now, I probably would. My wildcard draft, I don't know who I'm going to go with because I just want that consistent starter on my bench. But if you need one just for a sporadic couple of game weeks, then yeah, I'd probably go Bailey. Gundogan or Foden, I'd probably go Foden out of the 2 of those. Again, a lot of the questions about Manchester City midfielders in there. De Bruyne, of course, comes out on top. Foden second, Bernardo Silva third, and Gundogan 4th is probably the way that I would do it. Will Perisic start? I think so. I think he will, yeah. What else have we got going on? Am I using a wildcard? No, I'm going to use the wildcard over the international break. So next game week, not this game week, is going to be when I use my wildcard. De Bruyne or Haaland for captain? I would still go De Bruyne. Sorry, Haaland. De Bruyne is a great option, but he is still the feeder to Haaland. It would definitely be a... Haaland captaincy. He's so high owned as well. His captaincy will be massive as well. I would just still leave it on Haaland, definitely. Hot Dog Nose, Salah and Greenwood for Bailey and Kane, or Mount and Greenwood for Bailey and Antonio on Mitrovic. Go the Mitrovic option because Salah next week is a nice differential. De Bruyne or Haaland captain? Yep, we did that one. Is Botman nailed for Newcastle? Yeah, he's looked really good. I have no reason to expect him to be dropped. 200 likes on the stream. Thank you all very much. Again, I'm spending most of the stream like this, aren't I? But yes, and we are closing in again on 33,000 subscribers. We are just 30 away. So if you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and it will bring you good luck in game week 8. You sold Sancho and bought in Højbjerg. Probably not a transfer I would have made. I'm not a big Højbjerg fan in FPL. He's done well, but I don't see it continuing. Pineapple on pizza, yes. I think it's absolutely fine. Best midfield 1 week punt, KDB, Son or others. So for me, it's KDB or Kulusevski. And I can't quite decide between them at the moment. I just tripling up on Man City. I'm just not a big fan of triple ups generally on teams. I know I've got triple Arsenal, but De Bruyne is great, right? It will be Salah to either Kulusevski or De Bruyne, and that will be my final team. And I will have the captaincy armband on Haaland, etc., etc. So, yeah. Oh, wow. Hot Dog, best stream about. Thank you so much. I'm actually getting a whole new stream layout made. So that will help contribute to me paying someone to make it much better than I'm able to make it myself. So hopefully that will come after the international break. And again, I hope it will just be another thing which helps improve the general viewing experience for you all is coming soon over the international break, I hope. 3 Newcastle defence, no, because you block off the ability to go and get a Newcastle attack. If Isaac looks really good, if St. Maximin looks really good, I just wouldn't do it. Like, if you are bringing in a defender that you don't necessarily need this week, I would go for a Palace one because from game week 9 onwards, they have a 10 onwards, they have a really nice fixture run. I'm actually planning on not having Pope in my wildcard over the international break, and I'll reveal all in a video probably over the weekend where I'll have my first draft. But I'm not planning on having him in my wildcard. It will probably be Gaeta because I will play Ward next week. I'll play Ward next week in game week 9 when he has Nottingham Forest at home, and then I just play Gaeta until afterwards. Tea or coffee? I'm more a coffee drinker. Like, if I had to give up one, I'd give up tea first, but I only try and drink 1 cup of coffee a day. Why not sell Trent and keep Salah? Because I'm going to wildcard over the international break, so it's literally just for a 1-week punt. Sterling is a 3 premium. No, he looked good the other night, but his position does worry me a little bit. If he's going to have slightly more defensive... if you are going to have slightly more defensive capabilities, then yeah. Emerson or Perisic this week? I'd go Perisic still. I think we'll start Emerson or Necker Williams. If you've got Emerson, I'll play him. Thoughts on Almiron or Ward-Prowse? Again, 2 questions back to back asking about the same thing. Almiron or Ward-Prowse from 2 different people. Amazing. Almiron versus Ward-Prowse. I don't love either of them. Almiron at 5 million is okay. With the injuries they've got, he's probably going to keep starting, but there's not a lot of goal threat there for him. Ward-Prowse is slightly better, but he is more expensive, and there are other players that compete with him. So I probably would pick Almiron just because of the budget. Those looking at Spurs defenders, I'm not sure I'd buy one this week because I'd worry about who's going to start. It could be like, because Sessegnon and Perisic can both play on the right as well. It doesn't necessarily mean that Emerson Royale is nailed as well. And then on the left-hand side, it could be either of them. So, can I show a free hit draft? It's like I come prepared to these things. That's why Hot Dog said it's the best stream about. If I was going to free hit this week, it would look something like this, right? I wouldn't use a free transfer on Perisic, but I would probably use a free hit. I would probably have him in my free hit team. So this would have Cancelo, Trippier, Perisic in defence. It would then have a midfield of Saka, De Bruyne, Kulusevski, Martinelli with Mitrovic, Haaland, Isaac up front. It's a pretty strong free hit. I'm not sure you can complain that much about this or want to change it very much. You might want to put Bowen in here because he has a good fixture, but I don't think he's needed. So yeah, I would... This is what my free hit team would look like this week, I think. I think this is what I would do if I was on a free hit this week. Robbo, Gross, Archer, Sanchez out, Bailey, Mitrovic, Pope and Sufal in for -8. If you're on a -8, it's wildcard time. It's wildcard time. We've got to be in the situation where -8, it's wildcard this season. It's how it's going to work until the international break, until the World Cup. I would wildcard that. You've got a nice bench of Trent, Salah, James, Trent, but that's a lot of money to have on the bench this week. I'd play your wildcard because then you can get De Bruyne in or you can get Kane in and you don't have 13 million sat on your bench. Or what you could do... No, I was going to say you could wildcard next week, but I would probably wildcard that this week. So, Maddison or Bowen? Maddison is much better long term. Bowen's fine as a placeholder and a short term punt, but he's not long term for me. Down we go. Kane or De Bruyne? De Bruyne makes it easier to get Salah back. Will St. Maximin play? I don't think he will. Coutinho is not nailed. I would go Bailey over Coutinho again and save 3 million or whatever it is difference between the two. I should transfer Salah out for De Bruyne. I'm planning on doing something like that. Bowen on wildcard, yeah, he's a fine pick. He's not brilliant. He's not performed that well this season, but surely he's going to get back to form at some point. The Luke Guy 7, thank you for the super chat. Pope, Trippier, De Bruyne, Tony in for -8 for Sanchez. Pope, Trippier, KDB, Tony in for Sanchez, Dunk, Salah, Jesus. I wouldn't do... you probably need the money. I can't imagine you need the money on Jesus to Tony looking at your transfers because you're downgrading Salah to De Bruyne. I don't want to do the Jesus to Tony move for a -4 when you should already have enough. So I wouldn't do that for a -4. I'd wait and do that next week over the international break. Use that as your transfer then. Kane or Son? Definitely Kane. Son looks so out of it. Looks so off it. I'm going to put a little poll in the chat. Are you wildcarding? Because I'm interested to see exactly how many of you are. What the percentage is going to be on it. Interested to see what the... We are only 17 subscribers away now from our target for the game week. If you guys are not subscribed already, but you are enjoying the stream, what are you waiting for? 3 videos a week. Deadline stream as well. A video on Fantasy Football Scout, plus managing a full-time job. Go on. Help support my journey. Weird question. Do I play Ultimate Team? I don't. I've actually pre-ordered the new FIFA for when it comes out, but I will probably start playing on that. You've already used your wildcard. About more than half of you. Wow. Okay. Hi, Harry. Will St. Maximin play? I don't think so. I don't think he'll play, personally. Would be no. If you had 2 free, would I get Kane in? No, I wouldn't. I don't really have an option route to get Kane. Like, I could sell Tony this week, but I don't really want to do that. He's just been called up to the England squad as well, so I don't think. I think he's going to have a lot of motivation this week. Not that he doesn't normally, but just being called up, he'll want to prove his point. What's my team for game week 8 now? So this is it, but I have 1 transfer which I'm going to sell Salah for. What do? I do sort of marketing. Do I play? Oh, I keep forgetting to switch back. There we go. Have I been flicking around? Oh, I don't know how long that's been up for. That free hit team. I forgot to switch it back. This is my team for this weekend. And I was like, what's your team for this week? And I was like, it's up on screen, but it's not. Will any more Man City news be released? I doubt it. Nothing before deadline. But I am just waiting, just in the small chance that we get something. There is a small chance that De Bruyne gets benched, but because it is a short turnaround for them. Yeah, still showing free hit team. Come on. We're better than that. We are better than that. Thoughts on Mings as a 4th defender? No, absolutely not. I know he's got a difficult fixture this week, but on my wild card, I'm looking at James Justin. Now, it would mean that I've got Ward and Justin, but they have a nice run of fixtures between now and the the World Cup. I keep calling it international break, but he can just sit first on my bench at such a cheap price. So I am considering him. What's my confirmed team likely to be? It will be this plus 1 transfer of Salah to someone else. I think Kulusevski will start. Yeah, I do think Kulusevski will start, yeah. Neco, Williams or Emerson for a wild card. Probably Emerson, just because with the new signing for Nottingham Forest of Aurier, plays in the same position that Neco Williams does. It does just put me off a little bit. Let's end the poll. 400 of you voting. and 58% of you playing your wildcard. Wow, that is a lot. I got to just get by this week. Got to hope that some of those picks. To be honest, I don't have anything really differential. I need Jesus to score. Like, if Jesus scores, I'll be in a much better place than I could be if Jesus doesn't score. Ahmed, KDB and Tony or Kane and Foden? So KDB and Tony or KDB, we've been asked this a few times and it's so close between the two. So close. I like Tony. In that situation, I'm going to go with Tony. I'm going to go with Tony out of the two. So let me... why not Son? Because I don't think he's necessarily going to start. I don't think he's necessarily going to start this week. Thank you. We've just hit 33,000 subscribers as well. Sorry, I am just trying to check something. How do I... I don't know. Cool, I'll do that afterwards. KDB and Tony, yes, we've done that one. Would I take Bowen or Foden or Kulu this game week? For this game week only, I'd take Kulusevski. For this game week only, I would take Kulusevski out of those. Yeah. Oh, I missed your super chat. Luke, let me scroll up. I did. Harry, will Salah Hall versus Brighton? So actually, I think I'm going to have Salah on my wildcard next week because there is a home fixture for... So De Bruyne is Manchester United at home, followed by Southampton at home, which I've got a toss-up. Do I want Salah or do I want KDB for that? So I'll have to decide on that. I will have to decide on that one. Zinchenko to Perisic for a -4. If it means you put out an extra player, yes. If you've got someone on your bench, no. If you've got someone on your bench that you can just play, then no, I wouldn't. Thank you to all the new subscribers during the stream. Welcome to the channel. Tony, Isaac or Mitrovic? Mitrovic for me is the #1 forward behind Haaland that I would be owning now. Part of the reason I want a wildcard over the international break is to just do that Tony to Mitrovic move. It just needs to get done and I just don't have the transfer to do it. It's Johnny Nail for Wolves. Rotation nicely with Trippier in game weeks 11 and 13. I think he's decent, but has Aït-Nouri been playing? He's decent. He has been playing, yeah. So he looks it. No reason to think he's not. Am I wildcarding or not? No, not this week. Wildcarding over the international break. So next week I'll be playing my wildcard. My final team will be this with an extra transfer made, so I still got to decide on that. For game week 9 wildcard, who to bring in for the price rises. So, for anyone who doesn't know what this website is, this website called Fantasy Football Fix. They predict the price changes. Basically, my wildcard will have almost anyone that's predicted to rise in price tonight in it. So I will just make sure I've got De Bruyne. I'll buy Trippier. I'll probably buy Isaac. I'll probably buy Mitrovic as well. Like all of these will be in my team and hope they rise twice over the international break. So yeah, that's the plan. Like if De Bruyne rises in price tonight and then does well tomorrow as well, he could rise twice and I could just take the 0.1. So that's the hope of it anyway. It's such a good way to wildcard on a Friday night deadline because you get the price rises on the Friday. So tonight I get the price rises for like game week 8. So all the transfers being made today, I'll benefit from those when I wildcard tonight. And then for the rest of the 2 weeks, I'll then have all the game week 9 transfers to get the price rises then as well. So you get more than one game week worth of transfers when it's a Friday night deadline. No wildcard, only 9 playing. 0.1 in the bank as per previous super chat. You need Jesus to Tony downgrade to be able to fund Pope, Trippier, KDB worth -8. Other ideas? Yeah, then I get it. then I get it. I just, -8 this week is bound to give you a red arrow given the amount of people on Wildcard. But you've got to think about the long-term benefits of your team. Just quickly, very quickly, thank you all so much for the super chats. There's been a lot of them. I appreciate them all so much, but for the fraction of the price, you can get a tier 1 membership, which basically gives you unlimited super chats, and then the tier 2, which is now called top tier. It gets you the same, but it gets you added to the group chat where I answer questions all during the week. It's been really good fun. We have lots of discussions. There's all the other members in there as well. We're starting to build up a real chat in there, and it's really nice. For just $4.99, these are monthly prices as well, and then $1.99 as well. Basically gets you unlimited super chats in the chat because I answer all member questions as well. So there should be a link at the top of the description, or on my YouTube there will be a link there as well. Can you recommend a 4th defender below 4.8 million? Have Patterson as your 5th, Cancelo, Trippier and James already in your team. It depends if you need them this week. If you need them this week or not. If you need them this week, you probably don't if you've got Patterson. If you really have to play them this week, then you could go Ake, to be fair, but you probably tripled up on Man City elsewhere. You could go for another Newcastle if you can get a cheap one like Botman, for example. So yeah. This is the wildcard team I would play. If you are on a wildcard and that's why you're asking that question, I would be on this. I would be on this. Cool. Let me flick back. Cool. So yeah, if you're looking to join, it's this little join button next to the customized channel, which you won't have, but I have it because it's my channel. Cool. Who is the best defender this game week after Trippier and Cancelo? This week alone, I still would go Perisic. I still think he'll start, and if he starts, he's a great option this week. So I'd probably go Perisic. You could also go Ake, for example, if you want to double up on Man City's defence or something like that as well. -4 to Pope, worth it. Like long term it is. It probably won't pay off this week. You probably won't get it back this week as well. Harry, welcome. Thank you for joining as a member. Again, send me that message over on Twitter straight away with a screenshot of you joining, and I will get you added to the group chat as well today. Isaac, who's your other goalkeeper? I mean, imagine everyone's got Ward, who's got Spurs, yeah. Will I be wildcarding tonight? So I won't actually be activating the chip tonight, but I will be making transfers tonight. I'll be making transfers tonight, and then I'll probably activate the wildcard later down the line, just in case something goes horribly wrong and I want a free hit or something. But the reason that you also do it like that is wildcard transfers don't impact price changes. So if I activate my wildcard, my transfers don't impact my players going up in price. Whereas if I don't wildcard until later on, they in theory contribute to price changes. It's a small thing, and it probably shouldn't impact as much as I do, but it does. But it does. Thoughts on Dean? Attacking threat, nice fixtures, and nailed. I can't bring Luka Dean in. I know he's being picked by people, but it's just a no from me. I can't have Luka Dean back in my team ever again. It's just equally good options that also don't leave me with PTSD based on what he's done previously. If you guys haven't already, we're closing in on 300 likes on the stream. So do please leave a like on the stream. I can't look at all wildcard teams. Again, if I was wildcarding this week, I would probably put something like this as my wildcard for you. So yeah, I'll be wildcarding over the international break as well, so you can be sure to hear about it from me enough times. Why don't I have Reece James in my team? Well, he doesn't play this week. He would be on my wildcard. If I was wildcarding this week, but I'm not, and he doesn't play this week. Thank you all for the likes as well. Zach, thank you for joining as a tier 1 vice captain members. I have renamed them to top tier and vice captain. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. You get the emojis in the chat and all your questions answered as well. Ooh. So Harry, what am I planning now? Make transfers or wildcard? So I'm going to make one more transfer. And it will be Salah, I think, to De Bruyne. It could be Kulusevski. It's just that Kulusevski didn't start midweek. That's not game week 9, 8. And a home fixture against Leicester is really nice. I got no one in that game. And I know loads of people are wildcarding Kane in. Is my thinking. It is my thinking. Who's had more transfers in this week? Who has had more game week transfers in? We are going to stick around after the deadline as well. We're live until the deadline to answer your questions. And then we will start looking at my wildcard as well. Souček, Gordon, Andreas. Which two should you play? I would bench Souček. Out of them. Sorry, I know I've seen that question enough times and it's gone into my head, but I didn't answer it. Yeah, Zach, appreciate it. Thank you very much for becoming a channel member. As tier 1, again, you get access to all of your questions answered. Transfers in round. So De Bruyne has had more transfers in, to be fair, than Kane. Double. De Bruyne has had a lot of transfers in, actually. Interesting. But Kane will have captaincy on him as well. Interesting. There'll be a lot of Salahs to De Bruyne's happening this week. Perisic is also Kulusevski. There is big transfers in generally for the Spurs guys as well. Just depends if I want triple up on City attack. You have Fofana and James in your wildcard for game week 9. Is that a good idea to have two Chelsea defenders? Their fixture 9 is really nice. I wouldn't play Fofana most weeks. You could also go James Justin as well, maybe over Fofana if you don't want to double up on the Chelsea defence. Didn't change back again. De Bruyne, yeah, 56,000 transfers in. The second most transferred in player behind Trippier. Pope also up there. Isaac also up there as well. Ooh, didn't mean to do that. Joining late. What do I decide on second free transfer or wildcard? It's going to be a second free transfer and it's going to be Salah to De Bruyne or Kulusevski. One of the two. I can't quite decide. I think KDB. Let me know in the chat as well. Who would you go with? Would you be buying De Bruyne or would you be buying Kulusevski? Which of the two would you be going with in your team? Joining late. What do I decide on my frequency transfer? Yeah, that's coming. If you were to do a wildcard this week, it would look like this. So Fofana would probably be James Justin now, but it'd be looking pretty similar to this. This is a good template for you. Make a poll, yeah, true. Son, KDB. Yeah, make a poll. Fine. Who should I buy? Kulusevski, or who's the other one? KDB. Is Kulu nailed? Yeah, he didn't play midweek, so I have no reason to expect him not to play. So take him to be nailed when you vote on the poll. Take him to be nailed. Son, I'm just not sure he's going to start. Who's on bench for this wild card? This week it would be Fofana, Zaha, Justin, James. And then going forward it would be Patterson, Fofana, Andreas as the three on the bench, generally. But, of course, this week's different. Kulu or Son, I'd definitely be going Kulusevski. Definitely no chance me buying Son. 80% of you think I should go with De Bruyne. Interesting. You have to wildcard this week. Should I stick with Tony or transfer Isaac in? I would probably still stick with Tony. He's got Bournemouth next week as well, which is a nice fixture for him. I know Isaac has that this week, but I still back Tony slightly more. Maybe it's because he's coming off the back of a hat-trick and his returns look better as a result. But yeah, is it max fit? No, I don't think he'll start this game. You reckon Isaac from Newcastle this week? Yeah, I like Isaac. I would probably still have Tony if I was wildcarding. It would be close between Tony and Isaac. Mitrovic, of course, comes first. Mitrovic definitely comes first. Is Foden a better option than De Bruyne? Longer term, he's a lot better value for money, is the thing that I think about. So, but if I had to pick De Bruyne, I'm not a big Foden because of his rotation risk, but he is a lot cheaper. So, Bailey to Almiron. No, Bailey's going to start tonight, so I would definitely be keeping Bailey. I wouldn't move between either of those. Gordon. I'm not doing Salah to Gordon as my transfer. That is definitely not happening. Definitely not happening. Foden, Bowen. Foden. Bailey, good for free hit team. Yes, he's a fine cheap enabler if you need the money to go for like your De Bruyne's. You want, like, let's say you want De Bruyne, Salah all in there, for example. Then yes, he's fine. Fofana or Patterson on Wildcard? Probably Fofana. It's pretty close between them. Patterson saves you the money if you need that elsewhere than Patterson, but Fofana in that Chelsea defence, it's not. I keep having to adjust my seat because when I lean forward or lean back. Why Mitro over Tony? Those fixtures for Fulham between now and the World Cup are really nice. They have a couple of difficult ones at the end, but between now and game week 14, they have the nicest run of fixtures out of anyone. So it has to be him in there. 4 really nice home games as well. Will Perisic start in the $1 million question? It seems to be the $1 million question at the moment. I think he will. My prediction is that he starts. My prediction is that he will start, yeah. What do I think of Sterling on a wild card is a no from me. I know he's looked good, but he's too much money for someone who I don't quite know what position they're going to play. Don't quite know how Chelsea are going to perform. No. It's a stay clear for me. Rice or Fornal or Souček in order, please. I wouldn't want any of them. I wouldn't be going and buying any of those. I don't want to even put them in an order. I'm not buying a West Ham midfielder out of those 3. So no. Diego Costa, game week 9. So Wolves are an interesting one. Game week 8, City this week. West Ham, Chelsea, Forest. It's okay. I just want to make sure he starts. If he starts this week, then definitely we can start to think about him at 5.5 million. And I think he should start, but it's not 100% guaranteed. It's not 100% guaranteed. James Justin or Emerson for a wild card. If you can get James Justin, then yeah, James Justin. Although if you need him this week, it's not ideal because that's a difficult fixture. Would I start Neco or Emerson? Probably Emerson because I do think Fulham will get something from tonight's game. All of us with Andreas, with Mitrovic in our teams. Mitrovic's ownership against me is going to be so ridiculously crazy high as well. Thoughts on Collins? I wouldn't go for a Wolves defender. Their fixtures look quite tough coming up. They do rotate okay, but I probably wouldn't go for one. James to Botman or Perisic? I wouldn't sell James because next week you'll want him back in your team. I'd sell someone else if you need to get that man out. I would keep James. I don't think it's worth a transfer to sell James this week. Bench Andreas or Paqueta? I'd want Andreas in my starting lineup. If you're not going to play him against Nottingham Forest, then I'm a bit like, when are we going to play him? So maybe your squad's strong enough, but I would probably want Andreas in my team. Isaac or Haaland captain? Haaland all the way. Definitely Haaland as my captain this week. Show us your wildcard team. Do I play football in real life? I do occasionally. Not consistently. I wish I did. So game week 8 wildcard would look like this. Would look something like this if I was to play my wildcard this week. So yeah. Trippier or Perisic? Trippier definitely. Probably the number 1 defender I'd want to own at the moment besides Cancelo. Bench Paqueta or Maddison. Probably Maddison this week. Away at Spurs, it's not easy, although I think they might score in that game. Yeah. Kane and Zaha or De Bruyne and Isaac. Again, it's... It's so close. We've been asked, is Kane and Zaha? I want Zaha long term, so I'd probably go Kane and Zaha, but he's not good for the next couple. So short term, KDB and Isaac probably. But you've got to have a route to get Zaha into your team. You've got to have a way of getting him in. Jesus to Mitrovic or Saliba to Emerson? I wouldn't want to sell Jesus Jesus this week. Because he's got that fixture away at Brentford is a decent enough fixture for him. Saliba to Emerson probably, if you can do Jesus to Mitrovic next week. If you're not going to do the transfer going forward, then yeah, Mitrovic in. But I would probably wait until next week to do it. Kane and Zaha or De Bruyne and Isaac. Again, we've done that. I would want Zaha in a few game weeks' time. Archer to Mitrovic, definitely. People considering selling Reece James this week didn't watch Champions League. 45 minutes remaining? No. An hour and 15 minutes. Deadline is 6:30 UK time. We've gone over an hour still to the deadline. Plenty of time. Don't go worrying. Plenty of time. Oh. Paul O'Keefe's predicted lineup coming. He was wrong last time though. He was wrong last time. It's the only thing that puts me off checking it. Your clock's messed up. Don't worry. The Price Rise website is called Fantasy Football Fix, so we can update that. There's a lot of transfers, there's a lot of activity happening today. De Bruyne is definitely going to rise in price. Trippier is definitely going to rise in price. What about the bottom end? Are people like Salah going to drop? Jesus is going to drop in price. It doesn't actually impact me, but De Silva's dropping. What a shock. I called that so long ago. Who's progressing as well? Archer. Luis Diaz. Gross is going to drop, so I need to sell him tonight. Salah as well. Yes, that's what we want to see. Trent, yes, as well. That's what we want to see. Sell them both tonight and buy them back again. 1.1 million cheaper. That is the plan. This wildcard is going to make me so much money. I think. Because of tonight. Tonight will make me as much money as the rest of them. Where did Paul O'Keefe put this game week's predicted lineup? I don't think it's out yet, is it? I don't think it's out yet. What's his? Is it O apostrophe? Yeah. Oh, it's O space. Yeah, he hasn't done it yet. Presumably later. No, I'm not wildcarding. I'm not wildcarding, no. Is Gundogan starting this week? It's a rough one. If you've got him, you keep him, but I wouldn't be buying him. I think there's about a 70% chance he starts. So those of you wondering, I'm wildcarding. Sorry, I know it might be a bit confusing. I'm wildcarding tonight after the deadline for game week 9. So yeah, I'm wildcarding for game week 9 after the deadline tonight. So not between now and the deadline. This will be my team with one transfer. Then when the deadline passes, I will then play my wildcard for game week 9. So I've got 2 weeks to tinker. I'm not wildcarding game week 8. I will be wildcarding game week 9 over the international break. Why Fofana over Emerson? I like the Chelsea fixtures. I think Fofana will come back in. I can't see Azpilicueta keeping his place. As much as I love him, he was not good. I think Fofana will start, yeah. Would be very surprised if he doesn't. I can't see Azpilicueta keeping his place, to be honest. Saka or Kulusevski? Kulusevski, probably, if you need him for this week. Take a hit to get 11 players out. Yeah, I will. I don't need a hit. I've got a transfer to use. Why am I not considering a Game Week 8 wildcard? Just because I don't think my team is good enough to get me to that point. There are enough transfers I want to make that I need to play it now. It's also too... I don't want to leave it too close to the World Cup where I don't get enough benefit out of it. Would I consider a differential captain this week? The only person I would captain, if it's not Haaland, is De Bruyne and Harry Kane. Are the only two people I would consider captaining that isn't Haaland, but I still would probably be on Haaland. Does Kyle Walker play? No. I'm pretty certain the press conference was clear enough that Kyle Walker is not going to play this week. Southampton defender? No. So Thiago Santos asking, would I go and get a Southampton defender in here? No, I would not. I hope you had a great week. Thank you, Bella. I have had a very good week. Thank you. Well, it's been long, it's been busy, but yeah, good. So long and busy, but good, apparently. But yeah, hope you are well, everyone. Thank you all for joining. Again, if you haven't already, just a little reminder, make sure you have liked the video. Anyone in here who has not subscribed as well, still 500 of it in here, and I know there are so many other streams that take place at this time, so I appreciate you choosing my stream to watch as well. I appreciate you choosing my stream to watch as well. Does Salah factor into my plans? Yes, he might be in my wildcard. He might be in my wildcard. Yeah. No, my wildcard is going to be after the deadline. It's not for Game Week 8. I will be making a transfer. Again, I just waiting to see if there's anything else that happens on De Bruyne or Kulusevski that would sway me between one or the other. But, yeah. Who would I bench between Bailey, Neco Williams and Andreas? I definitely bench Neco Williams. Definitely would. Reason why KDB isn't in your wildcard? Because I went with Harry Kane instead because of that Game Week 11 captaincy. Something I'm not sure people on wildcard are particularly focusing on now. Game Week 11 captaincy is having a Spurs asset is really having a Spurs option in this team for that week is very important. You'll regret mentioning that wildcard today. I'm not wildcarding this game. I'm not wildcarding. Full stop. Kulusevski or Foden for this game week and then swap them for Maddison next game week. Then I go Kulusevski. It's the best. It's one of the best attacking fixtures you could hope for at the moment. Which is why I'm considering him as well. Any good picks from Manchester United to look at on a Game Week 9 wildcard? Their fixtures though. They go Man City, Everton, Newcastle, Tottenham, Chelsea, West Ham. It's a difficult run. I feel like we've missed the boat. I see wildcards with like Rashford sitting on the bench, and I just feel like we've lost it quite a lot. You've missed the Rashford boat. I think he was all based on those good couple of fixtures, which then got cancelled, and the form he was on. So I think we've missed the Manchester United boat given their fixtures that are coming up. So yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. Good call, like it, appreciate it. Kane or Haaland, the better captain? Still Haaland for me. I can't look away from the man who has scored as many goals as he has since joining him. So it is a Haaland captaincy for me this week, and there's absolutely no doubt about that in my mind. Best 4.5 million defender. James Justin long term, but if I had to play one this week, maybe Botman. Maybe Botman. Who would I have? Foden or Bowen? I'd probably back Bowen. I'm such a fixture head that, yeah, I'd probably go. I'd go with Bowen just because of how good their fixtures are. Please do not put fake team news in the chat. Appreciated. No, Martinelli is absolutely fine. Martinelli is fine. Please don't believe those people in the chat. Will Emerson start for West Ham? Yes, I think he will. He's looked good since he's joined, playing at left wing back as well. So yeah. Could I order Maddison, Zaha, Bowen? Maddison, Zaha, Bowen, probably in that order. Like, Bowen is good for the next two, and then moving to Zaha is probably what I would do. But long term, Zaha definitely goes up the list because game week 10 onwards, their fixture run is so nice. Everyone will be wanting to have Zaha in their teams who doesn't have them already. So I'll be wildcarding next week, and Zaha will be in it. Not sure if he will start against. He'll start in my team against Chelsea or not, but yeah. Emerson is a good pick. He's a great 4.0 million option. My overall point, let me check for you. Someone asked me this the other day. 407. Really? Feels low. Yeah, 407 apparently. Any update on the rumour regarding Spurs and Arsenal, Chelsea, Palace? I'd be surprised if those games get called off. So what it was there was a rumour going around that because there were rail strikes in London over game week 9 weekend, that it was going to impact the Premier League games. The rail strike will happen, but I cannot see the Premier League, when they have this much notice, letting those games get called off. I'd be very surprised. I would not worry about it. I thought about it first off, thinking, okay, this could not be good. But, yeah. So basically, you're going to make transfers, confirm them, which will say, for example, our wildcard during the break. Exactly. 18 more than you. Still had a good start to the season then. Kane or De Bruyne? Kane for me again. Just that game week 11 captaincy is what I would really be focusing on with him. So yeah. When will I make the KDB transfer over Salah? I'm just waiting to see anything close to the deadline, if we get any news or anything like that, because I may as well wait. There's no point in rushing a transfer. What do I think about Almiron? Asks Eunice. Honestly, what? Give me one sec. Thank you, mods. Appreciate it. Yeah, Almiron is fine. Like, he's 5 million. I'd rather Leon Bailey because he's cheaper and he's got more goal threat. The fixtures for Almiron are good, but like, Almiron has never been a consistent goal scorer or point scorer in FPL. So, yeah, I would not be picking Almiron. If I use a wildcard, would it carry forward to next week? No. So it's one game week only. So if you play your wildcard now, it will finish in an hour when the game week 8 deadline arrives. Trent replacements, I'd probably wait this week and go maybe Reece James next week, or play Trent in game week 9 as well. But you already have him in. My team selection, again, I clearly stated that I wasn't nailed to buy De Bruyne. I think I will, but I was clear. Who's the best midfielder to take a punt on with 7 million in the bank? So let's look at these sort of mid-price midfielders, which I know a lot of people are considering for their team. All players, midfielders, 7.4. None of those. Bernardo Silva's an interesting one if you want to punt. Over the next few, they have a few nice games on the bounce that you could go with. It's not that much lower down. I was actually looking at this last night. Someone asking about their transfers, and they need a. It's either. I probably would like punt on Bernardo Silva or something at 7 million if you have it. If you're needing a player in and around that price, he looks good. His goal involvement comes when you don't necessarily expect it, and when his underlying numbers will not deserve it. But he does seem to get the attacking return. So. Any long-term defender below 4.8 to swap along with Patterson until game week 16 other than Fofana? Yeah, James Justin at 4.3 million. 4.3 million. Madison's bonus point added up to 9. He's a leave. Those fixtures for Leicester come next week are too nice. Can't see anything when I take them off. Cannot see anything, but those Leicester fixtures from next week are just too nice for me to ignore. You have a predicament right now where you can't afford either Bowen, Maddison or Zaha. Not sure which one to drop. I'd go Bowen for the next 2 and then I'd sell him for Zaha is what I would do if you can't have them all straight away. Thoughts on Paqueta, Gordon or Joe Linton? Joe Linton is not an FPL asset. Let's stop the conversation right there. That Joe Linton is not an FPL asset. Gordon, Paqueta, I would probably go Gordon out of the 2. It's not a good list, is all I'm going to say. Kulusevski or Salah? Well, yeah, Salah doesn't play this week. So am I considering Ward and Iverson? No, I don't think I'll do it. If they sack Rodgers, then I may consider it. But I don't think I really need the money. The fixture run is nice, but I still don't think I'd do it. If they sack him over the break, then I might consider it. But I still think I probably won't. I think I'm going to go with Gaeta over the international break. Crystal Palace's fixtures are nice. After that Chelsea fixture. So I think I'll probably have him on my wildcard instead of going with Pope, is the plan. As I said, a lot of you are asking about those mid-price midfielders. If you can't go up to someone like Zaha or Maddison, I'd probably go all the way down to Leon Bailey at 4.7. He looks like he's going to start tonight. So yeah, that's probably where we would be ending up. It is 1 hour until the deadline. So make sure your teams are locked in. Thank you to all the new subscribers as well. I'd rather play with 10 men than play with Joe Linton in my team. Yeah, that's true. Thank you to all the new subscribers over the past week. I do massively, massively appreciate it. Foden or Saka for the next 2 or 3 on wildcard. Foden. Manchester City fixtures are really nice. Isaac, Mitrovic or KDB captain Justin. You're going to tell me you don't have Haaland in your team and you're going to have to captain De Bruyne over him? No, for me it's you got to be on Haaland captain. If I had to, it would be De Bruyne. But thank you for the super chat. Anyway, wildcard draft. Yeah, I'll flick that up for you in a second. -12. You're guaranteed a red arrow this week with a -12. Wouldn't back it. I don't know what the transfers you're making are. But I'm not sure I would want to play a -12 this week. Is Bailey always starting? Bailey won't always start, but he's explosive when he does. He's got the more attacking threat than anyone at that price when he does start. So, yeah, if you're playing a -12, use your wild card. If you don't have your wild card, then you're left in a bit of a sticky situation. Gordon or Bailey? I'd probably just go Bailey, to be honest. I'm not sure Gordon is worth 5.5 million. I actually mentioned it in my team selection video this week. I was a bit like, I've put Gordon in here because there's not that many other mids that I like. If anyone knows anyone else, then let me know. But yeah, I would just go Bailey. I'd save the money on him. So yes, I mean, I can't see any reason why I shouldn't do Salah to De Bruyne. He did tear Wolves apart last time, didn't he? I mean, that's nothing, no reason to buy. It's no reason to buy him. Started every game, played a lot of minutes in every game. I think it'll be De Bruyne. I think it'll be De Bruyne in. What about Shaw for Trent? What about Shaw for Trent? I mean, I probably wouldn't, because if you've held Trent this long, I'd probably want him for the Brighton game next week. I think that's a good fixture for them. Too much talk. Is that... I feel like I don't know if that's comments aimed at me. Like, am I talking too much? Like, surely the whole point of a stream is that I have to talk. The person doesn't want me to talk anymore. So, new form of stream where I just sit in silence. Is that better? Was that better? Trent or James out for a new defender? I would probably want to keep both, but hang on. Which player would I bench on a wildcard in my wildcard draft? Can't wait for the silent stream. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Thanks for the answer, Harry. Help the wildcard. Who would I bench here? Fofana, James and Maddison. To be honest, you prefer talking. Fofana, I'd probably have James Justin in here. And then I'd bench James Justin, because those fixtures coming up for Leicester are nice. So yeah, I'd probably go with him. I'm a Chelsea supporter. Whole video without speaking. I feel so insulted that you guys are coming to my stream and telling me that I shouldn't be talking. Mid for 6.7 or less for the coming weeks. That bracket has dried up so quickly. There were so many options. We all had 2 or 3 of them in our teams, and suddenly there are none of them. So you want a midfielder at like 6.7. Sorry, too much talk. Sorry. It's too much. Leon Bailey, please talk. Okay, I'll stop it. It was funny the first time. Second time, it got repetitive. Let's not do it a third time. Leon Bailey, probably, or Gordon if I needed a mid at that price, but I don't love any of them. Best Salah replacements, probably De Bruyne. That's my plan. That's what I think I'm going to do this week. Why is everyone having Chelsea and Palace players in their wildcard? Their fixture runs are about to be really nice. Don't want silent streams. No. Best YouTuber. Thank you. Appreciate it. Isaac worth the differential, or just go with Mitro? I would just go with Mitrovic. That would be where I'm at. Mitrovic would definitely be on a wildcard. You have 9 first team players. Should I wildcard? Yes, I probably would. If you're free hitting, which players do I have in your squad, Harry? So, free hits pre-made for you. Here's one I made earlier. Blue Peter, eat your heart out. Do I think Game Week 13 wildcard is a good option? Yes, after the blank, you can then bring back in Liverpool and Man City players if you want to, and Arsenal players as well. If you can hold it to then, brilliant and well done, but it's a long time to hold it. Tom, thank you for the super chat. Souček or Fornals? Fantasy Football Scout, both to start. I don't really want either of them. I probably think Souček is more nailed now, but I don't really want either of them, is my honest opinion. I don't want to pick a player. I know you've asked for the 2, but I don't want to tell you to buy one of the players if I don't think any of them are good options. I'd rather Leon Bailey at a cheaper price. Andreas or Bailey on wildcard. It's pretty close. Given that Bailey started tonight, I might go with him, but I probably like Andreas's consistency of starts a little bit more because he's not going to play every week, so I just need him to come in sporadically. So yeah, I probably just want the consistency that you get with Andreas. So just for this week, who would I take a punt on those mid-price budget mids? I'd go Bailey because we told he's going to start and he has a good fixture this week. Sam Martin on Twitter has said that Bailey is going to start. So final decision as I have to lock. Please, Kane or Foden. Kane, Foden, Zaha placeholder or De Bruyne, Isaac. If the Kane Foden allows you to get Zaha in, I like Kane Zaha from that week onwards. So I'd go Kane Zaha. I would go Kane Zaha. KDB or Kane, which is wise. So again, it's all for me about that game week 11 captaincy. Game week 11 captaincy, Spurs at home to Everton. If you go De Bruyne, you've got two of them away at Liverpool, and I do not want those in my squad. So, yes. Only 10 playing, should you use your triple captain? No. Please don't use your triple captain this week just because you don't have enough players. Much better options for your triple captain further down the line. So, yeah, I would be holding on to your triple captain until later on. You already have Bailey and Andreas. What was the option before? Oh, if you had Souček and Fornals, I'd go Gordon then if you already have the other two. But your midfield is looking very cheap. I'd try and free up some money go elsewhere. But if I had to pick one, I'm going to pick Souček. Why not Gross to Bailey or in Saint-Maximin versus Salah to De Bruyne? Because I'm going to wild card over the international break. So I'm picking players completely based off this week. You don't seem to be sold on Burn on your wildcard. Who would bring in instead of him? Other than Maddison or... The reason I would go with Bowen is just the short-term fixtures are nice until we know which other of those options are going to be good. So I'll just pick him short-term. Maybe you might get some money rises out of him as well. Have him for Everton, Wolves, maybe even Fulham, Southampton. And then you can review again. There's no other midfielder that I like that also has good fixtures, which is why a lot of people are picking Bowen this week. He's not done very much this season, which is why I'm not really sold on him. But, so, you selling players after the deadline? Yes. Like, I'll explain this again. My wild card will be played for game week 9. Not game week 8, game week 9. Is it worth to swap Neto for someone for a -4 or just play him? It depends how much money you can afford. If you could go to Bailey for a -4... Would I do Neto to Bailey for a -4? It's not a very exciting transfer, but I may well do it just because longer term you free up that little bit of money. Bailey's not going to keep dropping in price, whereas Neto might. So when you activate a wildcard, does that freeze price changes? No, it doesn't. No, the prices will continue to change. Is Kepa the new starting keeper over Mendy? No, Mendy was injured, which is why Kepa started. Kepa might end up playing, but I don't think we necessarily know that yet. Don't think we necessarily know that yet. Luis Diaz or Saka, free hit. Well, Luis Diaz doesn't have a fixture this week, so it would be Saka definitely for me. Yeah, it would be Saka definitely. I just need to go and get a drink. I'll be literally 1 minute. So bear with me. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Bring back the silent stream. Yeah, true. Sorry, here we are. -8. Trent, Salah, Archer out. Perisic, Bro and Kane in. Yes, but next week it doesn't necessarily look that great. But it will benefit you this week. Is Bailey more nailed than you think Steve G will rotate him? I think he'll rotate him, but I think he's probably in their first choice 11 given recent performances. But do I think he's nailed? No. Do I think he's nailed? No. Replace Gross with Gordon or Bailey from -4 to field 11. I'd probably go Bailey. I'd just take the money. I quite like him now that we think he's going to start tonight as well. So that's basically what I'm judging it on. I think he's going to start tonight. Is Perisic starting this week? We haven't had Paulo Keys predicted lineup, I don't think, yet. I think he will, but he hasn't predicted it yet. I was hoping it would be today, but I was hoping we would get it this evening, but it doesn't look like he's going to unless he does it if he does it closer to the deadline. Should you do a -4 Tony or Mitro? If you're buying one, then buy Mitro, but I wouldn't sell Tony for Mitrovic for a -4. I definitely wouldn't do that. Any confirmed transfers or you go into Wildcard? I'm not. I feel like I need to brand this everywhere. I'm not wildcarding this week. A lot of you are, but I am not. Will KDB start? Yes. I'm pretty certain that this is going to be my transfer, which is going to be Salah out, De Bruyne in for this week, and then wildcard this evening, going into game week 9. You're only 10 playing. Should I triple captain? No. So don't use your triple captain just to make up for lost ground on other things. Triple captain is much better use. So one thing I tend to do well is my chips and save a triple captain for a double game week. There are going to be lots of double game weeks this season. We've already had Man City have a blank in game week 7. We know Man City are going to have a blank in game week 12 as well. That means Man City have a minimum of 2 double game weeks this season, right? So if they're going to have a minimum of 2 double game weeks this season, Haaland triple captain in a double game week, then yeah. Would I go for Cucurella over James to get Maddison over James with a 7.5 mid? If so, who? I wouldn't go Cucurella. I don't know how consistently he's going to start. I would want James. James's positioning is crazy high for Chelsea. Definitely would want to find a way to get him in. So Maximin, I don't think he will start. The wild card will kill the boredom at the international break. Well, exactly. Part of the reason I want to do it. No, I think it's a good strategy as well. But yeah. Kulusevski or Saka for this week only. I'd go Kulusevski. Home fixture against Leicester. You've got to hope that they get something out of that game. I am wishing... If Son was on form, I would go with him. But he's not on form, so I won't. We're really close to 400 likes on the stream. Thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in, watching, etc., etc. I appreciate all the support so much. If we can try and hit 400 likes, that would be fantastic. I think Perisic will start, but I'm not 100%. Bruno Gomes, I don't think he will play this week. I'm not sure if he's back from injury yet. I think a lot of these players will be given the international break, like Sir Maximin, for example. Wildcarding. Foden versus Kulusevski versus Bernardo. 1 week punt, Kulusevski. 1 week punt, Kulusevski. Their fixture there is really nice. Their fixture is definitely really nice there. My favourite FPL streamer by a mile. I appreciate it. Guys, I'm also always interested to know, like, when you watch someone else's stream, what do you like about it? What do you like about mine? Like, where can I improve? I am always happy to have feedback, positive or negative, because all I want to do is just improve it and make it a better watching experience for you all. So any feedback you want to leave in the chat, positive or negative, please fire away. Absolutely no offense taken in any of it. Would play Ward or -4 Sanchez to Pope? If you're going to wildcard in the next couple of weeks, then I would just play Ward. If it's long term, then I would do the -4. Have I done Salah to KDB? Not yet, but I am planning on doing it. What about Emerson Royale? He might start. He's played a lot of minutes, but I think he probably will. Just be concise. Cool. Got it. Maddison or Andreas in starting 11? Maddison. On wildcard, Gray or Gordon? Gordon. You like the graphics a lot, much better than last season. Yeah, I have upgraded them, and hopefully more upgrades to come as well. Just do what I'm doing. Appreciate it. Do I wildcard or free hit? So this is something I've been asked a lot, and I can't... Like, I was quite vocal about it on Twitter, and not everyone agreed, but please, please don't play your free hit this week. Please, please, please do not play your free hit this week. It is not worth playing your free hit. It is not the chip to play. You will be back in the same situation with the players you had next week. That's not what you want. Your wild card is much better placed. Your free hit, the second half of the season, where those blanks and double game weeks will be so difficult if you do not take your free hit into it. People who are free hitting this week might get a small raise in rank this week, but long term they will be so much worse off. They might not feel the effect of it until game week 30 when everyone else plays their free hit, but long term it is not good. You can see a lot of content, but they're only one of the few who answers everyone's questions. So a very small thing, again, before we go back to your questions, is I say it in some of my videos, but the first hour or hour and a half of every video I put up, I will answer every single question in the comment section. So again, like, I know it's, trying to get you to turn your notifications on, but if you turn your notifications on for my channel, again, the video goes up, you put your question in the comment section, watch the video, go straight into it, and answer your question. I always answer the question the first hour of a video. So yeah, make sure you do that. There'll be videos 3 times a week, even over the international break. My stomach is rumbling. Should you replace James for Emerson? I wouldn't sell Reece James. You'll want him next week. Any news on Perisic? No, we have nothing left. Nothing news. Fofana or Justin? I'd probably go Justin now. I know my one that I screenshotted there has Fofana in, but I probably would go Justin now. Salah out to Bruyne or Son for a -4? I wouldn't be buying Son. Is there any news on Paul O'Keefe? No, there is not. We have nothing from him. There's no predicted lineup from him. And he wasn't even right last week as well. So will I be doing World Cup Fantasy? So I was going to ask this. Will you guys be playing World Cup Fantasy? I imagine you most will. I'm planning on doing stuff, video streams for it as well. So I am planning on. But yeah. How would you play your wildcard team? So it would look something like this. Ooh, this one. I think you should add a deadline timer to the stream. Yeah, that is a nice effect. I do marketing. Castagna just in ahead of Fofana. Yeah, I probably would now. I would change this slightly. My locked-in team is not locked in yet. I'm pretty certain I'm going to go to De Bruyne. I'm pretty certain on it. I am pretty certain. Are you Crystal Palace defenders worth it for game week 10? Anton or Guehi? Yeah, I'd go Guehi, slightly cheaper. They have a really nice run of fixtures. You could consider them as well. Fofana or Justin? Yeah, I'd probably go Justin now. Don't feel like it. The fantasy game kind of ruins your enjoyment of the Euros. Fair enough. Yeah, you probably won't be alone with that. Soufal or Fofana? Probably Soufal. Well, if you're going James as well, then I understand you not wanting to double up on Chelsea defence like that. So maybe you want to diversify a little bit. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong one. This is the membership page. Cool. Any... What price for a 1 week punt? He's okay. Their fixture's not bad. Like, he's capable of scoring. He's on pens as well. I've heard of worse ones. Thank you for content, answering your questions. Keep it up. Appreciate it, guys. Just keep watching, liking, commenting. You've got Cucurella. What shall I do with him? I've got no money in the bank and use your transfer. Then keep for this week. Unless you need to put out an extra player, then I would sell for a Newcastle defender for a -4. But only if you need him to put out an extra one. Yeah, I like Palace defenders. I do. Gahey's definitely the one that I would look at. When am I locking in your team? I don't know. I'm just trying to see if there's anything. Paul O'Keefe apparently has tweeted. So, Leicester predictions. Remember, not info, but a prediction on a Tottenham, although strange I hear 4-3-3 for Leicester tomorrow. It has Perisic in. Kulusevski is predicted to start. He's predicting no Son. He's predicting no Son. He's also predicting, yeah, Perisic to start. No Sessegnon. So, yeah. Prediction. It is a prediction. And he was wrong last week. But he was right about the 10 weeks before that. He was right. So, make of it what you will. Best Newcastle defender this week. It has to be Trippier. Has to be Trippier. Good 1 week punts. The Spurs guys, so like Kulusevski. Kulusevski I like. Kulusevski. Bowen's not a bad one. Arsenal guys, if you want Saka, is quite a nice one as well. Some of the Man City mids you could punt on. You've got, thank you for the super chat. You've got Bowen, Andreas, Martinelli and Maddison in midfield. And you're going to bring in Zaha in game week 10. Who should I use as a placeholder until then? You've got 7.8 million in the bank as a Zaha placeholder. 7.8 million in the bank. 7.8 million in the bank. Bernardo Silva, probably. I quite like. That's 7 million. Saka. Saka's not bad. Brentford away, Tottenham at home is okay for him. Probably one of those two. Worth delaying a wildcard if you can have 11 players with 2 free transfers. Yes, but I'd probably... a lot of people will be on Game Week 9 wildcard with me, I think. Those people have held it this week. Isn't there anyone else better than Trippier and Perisic to bring in this week? Trippier is a great pick. Although his open play like assist potential is not as high as maybe people thought, he's one of the best defenders at his price, and he's only going to go up in price. He's up to 5.3 now. Yeah, and he's going to go to 5.4 tonight, predicted as well. So yeah. Son or James Maddison? Maddison, definitely. When am I locking in my transfer? I will do it soon. What time is it? How long have we got until the deadline? Only half an hour until the deadline. Wow, time has flown by. Time has flown by. When am I wildcarding? Oh no, not this again. Over the international break, I'm going to wildcard. Over the international break. So, yeah, Trippier predicted to rise in price again. This wildcard, I'm just going to make money even if I don't get a good team and good rank at the end of it. Hopefully we get price falls like Salah. Salah falling in price is going to be brilliant. And then Trent as well, I hope, falls in price. Hope all of these guys do as well. Anyone else in here that I'm planning on buying? Jesus, no. Zinchenko is an interesting one, but I don't want him. Wow, a lot of people predicted to change in price tonight. A lot of late transfers coming in. Nothing really elsewhere. but a lot of risers as well, who I want all of those in here. I want all of those on my wildcard. I will post the team. My members will know as well the team I go into every night, so that they can catch price rises as well with me. But yeah, I'll be selling a lot of these players because I don't really have... I think I got 0.1 in Patterson, to be fair, which is a bit annoying because I could use that spot for some price rises. But Saliba will go because he's probably not being sold actually this week because people need him. He's being transferred in. Wow. What's my selling value for... What did I buy him at? Did I buy him at 4.7 or 4.6? How do you even find that on this thing? List? Yeah, here. Yeah, so if he rises in price, I gain 0.1 for him. That would be nice. Sorry, when would I pick Justin? Would I pick Justin over Fafana because Justin looks more nailed in his better games? Yeah, I probably would. The draft I've got on the screenshot... yes, I would, basically. I would have him in there. First week, we're just going to wildcard to make profit. Exactly. 0.1's here, 0.1's there. Hopefully, there'll be some double rises, I think. Like, if, for example, let's say like De Bruyne rises tonight. Anyone who rises tonight is very capable of having a double rise this international break. Because all it will take is... Like, if Isaac rises in price tonight and then he scores at the weekend, he'll go up again before the deadline. So I will make my wildcard active after the deadline. Bernardo or Bowen? Probably Bowen. You're already on Triple City. Should I take a -4 to sell Salah for a mid, like Kulu or Bowen, and play them instead of Neco Williams, or just leave him on the bench? Planning to wildcard game week 9. Should I have -4 to sell Salah for a mid like Kulu or Bowen? Yes, I would -4. I would take the risk on -4 for Kulusevski. I would. Harry, thank you for joining as a member. Again, a quick reminder that we have 2 tiers of membership on the channel. Tier 1 and Tier 2. Thank you, Harry, for joining in Tier 1. I need to get this remade with the actual right ones there, but yes. I'm not wildcarding this week. I should stop. I'm going to stop saying it until after the deadline now because people are going to get confused and think I'm actually wildcarding. So yes. Yeah. So interestingly, from this tweet, Maddison, Barnes and Daka is the front 3, which means Maddison's playing on the wing, which is very good for his points potential. I wouldn't be benching Maddison this week. Put it that way. I would not be benching Maddison this week. If he's going to be playing in a front 3, yeah, I would. Maddison is definitely on my wild card. Is he predicted to rise tonight? Maybe. Yeah, he is. Wow, he's mass transferred in. What's we looking like potential price changes? What's that you're looking at? It's a website called Fancy Football Fix. Let me put it in the chat for you all. As always, if there are any of you not in the channel Discord as well, there's a link in the description where we chat all the time. If you don't want to join as a member, but you want to chat to other people, then yeah, drop that in it's in the description. KDB or Cancelo for a -4. I wouldn't bring in Cancelo for a -4. I'd go De Bruyne. Would go De Bruyne. KDB or Kane? Probably. It's difficult. I probably would go Kane. Right, let's get this transfer done. Salah out to De Bruyne. Confirm transfer. Confirm transfer. So, vice captain. Do I vice captain someone in a different game, or do I vice captain in case it gets called off, or what? Yeah, maybe I do Jesus because I think he'll do well this weekend. Cool. Then, just to be annoying, because everyone loves people who do this, we're gonna do. We will do that because it will annoy people. We're Right, can I explain price changes? Yes. So the way price changes work is if a player gets heavily transferred in, they will go up in price, and if a player gets heavily transferred out, they will go down in price. Every 0.1 that you lose, that a player goes down, your selling value goes down by 0.1. So if your player goes from 4.5 to 4.4, your selling value goes down by 0.1. However, if a player rises in price, you only get 0.1 for every 0.2 that they rise. So if a player goes from 4.5 to 4.6, you will still only sell at 4.5 until they go to 4.7. Then you will sell for 4.6, etc. They'll need to go to 4.9 for you to get an extra 0.1 on the rises again. Best defender for Newcastle, Shah or Botman. I think they're pretty nailed, to be honest. Is Walker playing? No, I don't think Walker will play. Again, thank you for all the new subscribers. We have hit our 33,000 subscriber target for today. Whoop, whoop. Thank you all so much for the support. I do massively appreciate it. Do massively appreciate it. Just posting it on Twitter. Walker won't play. Start Saka or Bowen. I would probably... If you've got Saka, you've got to play him. If I had to buy one now, I'd probably buy Bowen because the longer term fixtures are better for him. When am I wildcarding? Next week. Next week. Game week 9. Johnson versus Mitrovic versus Solanke. Mitrovic is the number one forward that any of you in the chat should be buying. It's as simple as that. He scored 6 goals so far this season. He's risen 0.4 in value, and that was when their fixtures were difficult. So, yeah. What about Son? He's not predicted to start, and his form's been really poor so far this season, so... Kulusevski or Bowen. Long-term Bowen. If it's just for 1 week, then Kulusevski. Is Bernardo likely to start the next 2? Yes. Either side of the international break, most first-choice players will start. How about a -8? Bring in Bailey for Gross instead of Perisic. How about -8? I bring in Bailey for Gross instead of Perisic. I like Bailey. Yeah, I probably wouldn't go buying Perisic. He does look like he's going to start though. So when am I wildcarding? I don't know if people are asking. Sort out your subs. I don't know what you mean, Jason. Sort out my subs. I don't get it. I don't know. Did I do my transfers? I have. They're on the bench because they'll auto-sub in. I'm going to wildcard over the international break. break. Is it worth changing Gross for Pereira and Stansfield to Isaac? Yes, I like those transfers. I do like those couple of moves that you've got there. Not long in, well, 20 minutes until the deadline now. Which one will I bench between Botman, Emerson, Maddison and Andreas Pereira? I'd bench Emerson. He's a fine option to help strengthen your bench, but if you've got other players, he's, benchable. Odegaard is okay. Their fixtures are becoming very difficult. I wouldn't 1 week punt on him. I probably wouldn't be buying him at the moment. I don't think St. Maximin will play. Been asked a few times. I was going to buy him, but I don't think it is. Oh, sort out my subs. Oh, I thought you said subs as in like YouTube. No. It's because they'll come on, right? Like Cancelo will come on for Trent, De Bruyne for Harrison and Martinelli for Gross. Why did not pick Neco Williams? I'm not on a wild card this week, so I can't just pick who I want. If I had Neco Williams this week, I would be starting him, yeah. Foden or Bowen? I would be playing... If I had to buy one, I'd probably get Bowen out of the two, yeah. Those midfielders, a lot of questions on mid-price mids. Zaha, Bowen or Maddison. I wouldn't own Zaha now. Is basically the solution. I would own Zaha next week. From game week 10 onwards, but I'd go Bowen until then. I have KDB on the bench. I do. Because he'll sub in. I will sub in. It's true. Should just bench all the players that I've got playing tonight. Like, who is it? Fulham. Andreas Pereira. So yeah, I shouldn't bench an Arsenal player. It's true. Because it won't impact it. It's Trippier tomorrow. Yeah, let's go and put Trippier on the bench. Sorry. Will I get rid of Tony on your wildcard team? No, he plays Bournemouth next week. Definitely not. Can I explain the double game week triple captain? So later on in the season, there will be weeks where they have to add extra fixtures in because they've been cancelled or they get postponed because of etc. Because of FA Cup, etc. Which means in the space of one actual FPL game week, a player might play 2 matches. So Haaland will play 180 minutes of football for one captaincy. And that's when you play a triple captain because you get double points across 2 matches. Isaac or Tony? If I was on wildcard this week, I'd still probably go Tony. I still probably go Tony out of the 2 of them. Thoughts on Odegaard? Thoughts on Odegaard? I like him. I think he's fine this week. He's looked better this season than he did last season in terms of an FPL point of view. But I'm just not a massive, long-term fan of him, to be honest. I just don't think those FPL returns are consistent, and I don't like their fixtures enough to be punting on him. He's fine for this week, but Gordon or Burn? Burn definitely. Best midfielder, 7 million. Bernardo Silva. If you had a wildcard this week, do I get your old team after this week? No, a wildcard will change it forever. A wildcard is not just for 1 week. A wildcard is forever. 4.8 million midfielder. Definitely Leon Bailey. Definitely Leon Bailey. Mitrovic to Tony for a -4. Don't sell Mitrovic. And don't sell Tony either. So no. Why are these players on your bench and not starting? It's a little joke. It's a little joke. Kane and Foden or Isaac and KDB? Kane and Foden or Isaac and De Bruyne? It's so close every time I read this question. I want to answer something else. I think I still go Kane and Foden. Kane for game week 11 and then Foden can become Zaha in a couple of weeks. Is where I'm at. Thoughts on Coutinho and Buendia? That Aston Villa team is so difficult to predict. I do not want one of their assets sitting on my team with getting benched every second week. So no is the answer for me on any Aston Villa midfielder that is not Leon Bailey because he's so cheap. So that's fine. Kane or Jesus this week? Kane. Kane's look really good. I'm jealous of people that have got him. Wildcarders that have got Kane in. Hence why he's in my wildcard team as well. Very, very pleased. Well, I would be very pleased with having him in my team. Be very pleased with having him in my team. You're doing wildcard transfers in this stream. Afterwards, once the stream ends, the game probably won't update in time. But I will start having a look on FPL.team at some potential moves that I will make. So if you want to stick around afterwards, once the deadline has passed, I will start doing my game week 9, tinkering game week 9 wildcard draft. So don't worry, we will do all of that at the end of the stream as well. And then I'm going to stay and do some upgrades. Can you explain how to tell who's predicted to rise on Fantasy Football Fix? Yeah, so basically it says change when they're going to change, and that's when they're predicted to go up in price. So Zaha is not predicted to change, Xhaka is not, and Malacia isn't either, but De Bruyne is. And this is how many, once they reach 100%, that's when they rise. If it's 90%, that is not a 90% chance of rising. That is, he is 90% of the way there to rising. It's not an exact science. They won't always be right. Harry, I love the emojis. Again, any new members, send me a message on Twitter and I'll get you added to the group chat as well. Is 4 hours better than Bowen? Is 4 hours better than Bowen given his price? But he's not nailed. I still don't think he's nailed with all of the options they've got. Perisic or someone else to pair up with Trippier. I'd go Perisic. I would go Perisic. Again, 15 minutes to the deadline. Make sure your teams are locked in as well. Cool. Captain Haaland or Kane? Haaland for me, still the best captaincy option this week. Your top 10 in your YouTube league. Well done. Again, if none of you are in my league, FPL YouTube. It's the only league I got a red arrow in this week. It really annoyed me. Make sure you do. There are prizes to be won at the end of the season as well. There are prizes to be won at the end of the season as well. So make sure you're in that. Should I play Isaac? Yes. Yeah, if you've got him, definitely play him. Soufal or Emerson? Soufal or Emerson? I'd probably just go Emerson. I'd save the money on him, to be honest. It's probably where I'm at with it. Soufal or Emerson? Yeah, I'd go Emerson. Do I go Salah to Son for -4? No, I don't think Son's going to start. Definitely not. Keep Salah for next week as well. Good fixture for them. Son or Kulusevski? Definitely save the money on Kulusevski. Save the money on Kulusevski. Andreas or Bailey for a starter? I'd start Bailey over Andreas. I would start Bailey over Andreas. Thanks for the info. I appreciate it. No worries at all. Thank you all so much for sticking with me. Yeah, I appreciate it so much. We've hit... Yeah, sorry. Flicking around with the settings. League code is above me. Just there. 8EH60R is the league code. Which two do I think? Maddison, Bowen, Saka. I would probably ditch Saka. Kane, Bowen, Perisic, -8 or Kulu, Isaac. I do the -4. I do the -4 out of those. So Bailey and Kane for Salah and Archer from -4. Yes. If you need the players this week, then yes. Thanks for the response. No worries. I try my best to answer as many comments as I can. That's the point of this stream, but yeah. Who is better to bring in this week, Bailey or Perisic? Probably Perisic. I'd probably rather Perisic. I would probably rather Perisic out of the two. Maddison or Zaha? Maddison or Zaha? Maddison. I mean, he plays this week as well, right? So you probably want the player this week who plays. Can I talk about getting Pope, Trippier and Mitrovic? And they have a game next week. Yes, I would get Pope, Trippier, Mitrovic. I have Pope and Trippier, but I'm going to wildcard Mitrovic in next week. I just didn't want to sell Jesus before Brentford. So yeah, that was my thinking there. You're wildcarding. Should you get Saka for this week and then transfer to Maddison for next week? I wouldn't book in a transfer like that, no. Because I think Maddison can still do well this week. So no, I wouldn't. I would just start with Maddison this week and save the transfer. How come De Bruyne's on my bench? Because he'll sub in for the players that don't have a fixture this week. It's just a little bit of fun. What is my overall rank target this season? So, anyone who's new to the channel, over the past 2 years, I finished inside the top 4,000. Biting your nails since the start of the stream. Fafana versus Justin versus Gahey. It's either Justin or Grahey for me. I'd probably go Justin. But I finished inside the top 4,000 managers both the past 2 seasons. I'm not expecting to do it again, but I am hoping to be inside the top 10,000 again this season. If I can do it, a hat trick of it, yeah, I'd be very, very happy with that. Top 100k as a minimum. Top 50k would be good, and then hoping for one of these again. I'm going to build a list down here that just has top 5k after top 5k is the hope. Kevin De Bruyne or Harry Kane? I'd go Harry Kane just because game week 11 captaincy, and yeah, the midfielder that you get in as well will likely become Zaha in a couple of weeks. So good Son replacement. You've got Triple City. Wait for next week and punt on Sterling. I don't love him at his price. Or you go down for Maddison, Zaha. I'd go for one of those, to be honest. I don't think Sterling's worth the money. So I would go down and get, Maddison or Bowen probably this week. How come De Bruyne is on my bench? He'll just auto sub in after the deadline or after the players don't play. So how sitting the wildcard straight after the deadline and picking the team help with price rises. So I'll wildcard after the stream and I will start buying players and they'll go up in price all through the international break. So I will get them for cheaper and they'll go up in price. Bowen or Bailey, very different prices. Bowen probably out of the two. If there are any of you left that are watching the stream that aren't not subscribed already or haven't liked the stream already, we are 30 subscribers away from 33.1k, which would be amazing to hit during the stream, given I didn't nearly think we'd get there. There must be 30 of you who are not subscribed, or 31. Someone didn't like it. Someone joined and someone didn't like it. Crazy punt on Longstaff. No, for me. Neko or Soufal. I'd play Soufal. How long have we got? We'll do rapid fire questions for the next 9 minutes until the deadline. If you will subscribe and like the stream. Boom. Best 8.5 midfielder. No City, no Arsenal. Maddison. Is Cucurella worth transferring in? Definitely not. Dyer or Soufal? So stuck. Soufal. Would I have Zaha on wildcard? I know he blanks, but I feel like it'd save a transfer. I probably would. My wildcard draft did have Zaha in. Hit the like button, guys. Yes. Foden and Kane or De Bruyne and Isaac. So I'm on Foden and Kane side of that. Captain K, Son or Haaland. Definitely Haaland. I don't think Son's going to start. 7.9 midfielder. I'm still on Maddison in that bracket. Foden and Kane, we've done that one. Cole back to a 6.6 for a -4. You can't get that much with that. No, then I probably wouldn't. I don't feel like there's anyone that I'd want for a -4. Emerson, Neko or Patterson to start this week. If I had to start one this week, I'd probably go Emerson. Did top 10 in your league get something? At the moment, it's just first, but we'll see how we do this season and how the channel does and whether I can afford to give out more prizes. Kane or Mitrovic. Bella Kocha over Soufal. No, I'd still go Soufal. Not back in Bella Kocha. You've wildcarded Kulusevski or Bowen. Long-term Bowen, so if you want to wildcard Bowen, this is the wildcard I would go with if anyone's still looking for it. What players do you think will rise over the international break? We will do that after the deadline has passed. We'll go into that. We'll stay live for a little bit as well. Captain Haaland and Vice Kane when I also have Mitra in the team. Yeah, fine. So no wildcard for me. Nope. My team is locked in, ready to go like this. For anyone needing my team. Would I captain Kane if I had him? No, I'd still captain Haaland. For 1 week punt, what's 7.9 million midfielder? Bernardo Silva. Or, I don't think... Yeah, Saka, actually. If you can afford Saka, I'd go Saka. Can't see Burn doing well, but might get him. There's just no one else. This is the problem. This is why everyone's going with him. Why benching De Bruyne? Because I auto sub in. Fofana or Emerson? I'd probably go Emerson or James Justin now. Almiron, I'd rather go Leon Bailey. So no for Almiron for me. -4 to get an extra player out. Yeah, I probably would. If the transfer and the player you're bringing in will benefit you longer term. Tony or Isaac, quick. I'd probably go Tony if I was on a wild card. But Isaac could do well this week. But you've got to understand you're buying him for the longer term. Soufal or Fofana? Probably Soufal. Guaita, good pick. Yes, I'm actually going to wildcard Guaita in next week into my team. Best 7 million midfielder? I'd go Bernardo Silva. Bring in Gordon for a -4. Gordon for a -8. Probably not unless it adds a player. -4s are fine if it's adding a player that you can put out. Tony or Isaac? Still Tony for me. -4 for one bank player. We've done that. Kulu or Bowen for this week only. Kulusevski. Thanks, Harry. Love your deadline stream. Appreciate it. We're still 24 subscribers away. Oh, what a shame. Kulusevski for Longstaff. Yes. Yeah. Wildcard, Isaac De Bruyne or Kane Bernardo. Kane Bernardo, because then you can do Bernardo to Wilfried Zaha in a couple of weeks as well. Willock or Foden? Definitely Foden. Definitely not Willock. Definitely not Willock. Wildcard, we've done that one. Shall I start? Bowen. So Bowen has to start and Maddison has to start. Simples. Please help. Phil Foden or Bernardo Silva? I'd go Foden if you can afford him, yeah. Foden is my number 2 Man City option. Foden is my number 2 Man City option. Take a -4 to field 11. Kulusevski is transferring. Yes, I would do that. Foden or Saka 1 week punt. Saka. Should I start Williams or Emerson? I'd start Emerson. A couple of you asking that. Yeah, I'd go Emerson this week. Why am I benching Cancelo and De Bruyne? They'll sub in. Maddison is benched. No, Maddison starts apparently. No. False team news. Captain Johnson or Jesus? Jesus, but I want it on I'd want it on Haaland. Man City option. Haaland or Kane captain, it's still Haaland for me. Necker or Soufal? Soufal. You can't hear me again. Hello? Hello? Sure, the sound says everything on my end seems to be working. Maybe your headphones. If Pope concedes, it'll be a waste of a -4. True, but long term, I think Pope's a good goalkeeper to have. Bowen or Kulusevski? You're on a wild card. Bowen on a wild card. You tried to take a picture of the fog today. You missed. That's a good one. It's deadline. It's not time for jokes, but that was a good one. You can hear you. Can hear you now. Oh. Wolves' defence could be good. Their fixtures are not that great. So, yeah, I probably wouldn't do that. Man City, Chelsea, Palace away. Like, it's not that great. You can hear me. Cool. Is Gordon a good option? He's fine at his price. There aren't that many options out there at the moment. And he has been quite consistent. So, I don't hate it. But, yeah. Hear you loud and clear. Are Spurs finishing ahead of Chelsea this year? Sadly, I think probably. Wolves 2 clean sheets. I know, but I just don't think they'll keep it going. You don't get points for what they've done in the past. Who should I start this week? Maddison or Andreas? I'd start Maddison. If you've got him, I would definitely start Maddison. What's your highest ever finish? So above me, 1,345th. Too much info. Yeah, it's time to go back to silent streams. -4 to start, but have one player on the bench. No, unless that player is rubbish, then no, I wouldn't take a -4. Tony or Jesus? Jesus this week, but Tony long term. If you're on wildcard, Tony. 4 to start. Foden, Emerson, or Willock Mings? Foden, Emerson, 100%. Do I take a -8? Only if it allows you to put out more players this week. Trippier, captain, thoughts? No. Bournemouth have not looked that bad. Who Manchester United players should I get in? None. They don't play this week. So don't get any of them in. Last minute, guys. It is 1 minute to the deadline. Let's make sure we've got FPL.team up and ready so we can start looking at a wildcard draft for next week once the deadline passes. Thank you all so much for joining. If you are going to head off, but we are going to stay live for another 20 minutes or so and start looking ahead to next week as well. So do stick around, have me on in the background. Like the stream before you go. And if you have not subscribed already, then please do hit that subscribe button. Yeah, that would be much, much appreciated. Much, much appreciated. Deadline has passed. Everyone, thank you all again. We're going to do some tinkering now because I will be wildcarding. going into next week. So, good luck this week for anyone heading off. But now here comes the fun for me. It is time to have a look at a wildcard draft for next week. So this is my first plan. First up, I think in goal, I'm going to get GW8. And let me explain why. He's a lot cheaper than Pope, and I need that money elsewhere. Ward also has a really good fixture this week, so I can start Ward. And then afterwards, Harry, you should do a meet and greet, all us putting this together. So, you guys need to go and check out a Twitter account called FPL Meets. They do meetups in London every single month for FPL managers, and I go quite often to these. The next one is in a couple of weeks. It's in the middle of October. There is also another one called Fantasy Football Fest, which do a biannual big event where there are hundreds of people. So, like this, for example. So, and they play football, etc. So, yeah, if you want to meet managers, something like that is definitely up for grabs. So, I think I'm going to get GW8 in goal because from game week 10 onwards to 16, Leeds, Leicester, Wolves, Everton, Southampton, West Ham, Forest, and they've looked really good defensively. I think I'm going to go with him. Then, let me take off that. Cool. Yeah, definitely think about attending. They're really fun. Then, in other transfers I know I'm going to make, Mitrovic has to come into my team, right? And it's going to be Jesus that makes way. Because of his difficult fixture, he's got Spurs next week, so he will definitely make way, and Mitrovic will come in. Would I consider Kepa? If we got categorically that he was first choice, then yeah, but we're not going to get that. Gross is also going to make way. Maddison will definitely be coming into my team. Saliba will also be leaving, and Reece James will also definitely be in my wildcard team. He's playing practically right wing under the new Chelsea system, and from next week, you can probably hear all my clicking as well, which is why people don't love my stream. But the Chelsea fixtures are, yeah, really nice. From then onwards, that's straight away 0.9 short, so I'm also planning to get Zaha in here. Now, I am quite a lot of short of this wildcard, right? And because I'm not going to have Trent. So it will be Trent to, like, Emerson, for example. Or actually, it was James Justin in here. This is my current thinking of what I'm going to do with my wildcard this week. So it looks something like this going into game week 9. Justin and Ward, I do have double Leicester defence, given they haven't kept a clean sheet so far this season. Is not exactly what I want, but is what I'm planning on doing for this week. And then Justin can move to the bench. My team for next week would, line up probably something like this. Benching Zaha is not ideal, but he's good long term, and I want him long term. So it will look something like this is my plan for my wild card going into next week. So, yeah. Thoughts on Brighton defenders for the game week 12 blank, or players in general, or just defenders? They've got a good fixture in game week 12 at home to Forest, but I just want to see what happens under their new manager, exactly how good they look, because I'm a little bit worried about them, how much of a system team they were under Potter. So yeah, I want to wait and see on that one, exactly what happens with them. So yeah, that's the plan. I will go Justin in for next week, and then I'm currently planning on, I'm undecided on if I want Salah or if I want De Bruyne in my wild card. I'm going to make a lot of these changes tonight because of price changes. Yes, I'll make a lot of these, and I can post on Twitter what my squad looks like. Yeah. I will maybe I'll put it in. If you want to keep up to date with the team I have to chase the price rises, I'll put it in the Discord channel. There is a section called FPL Harry Transfers. I will put it in there so that you can see my team going into the evening. You love my streams. Thank you very much, Daryl. Yeah, appreciate it. So I will put it in there if you want to help price changes. So this is what I'm looking at. I'm currently undecided on if I want De Bruyne or if I want Salah. Yeah, they probably won't forget Potter's system in just a couple of weeks, but the new manager might come in and play 4 at the back, and then what? Then suddenly it changes drastically. So yeah, Salah versus De Bruyne is a big thing, because do I want Salah in game week 9 and game week 10? It is an easier fixture run for De Bruyne slightly. Same, great content, really like your stuff. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for all the kind words. It's really good content when you only get to see half my head. Let me move my chair down if I'm going to lean in. Bone or Maddison on Wildcard. Well, the deadline has passed, and I probably would have gone Maddison, but there's not much in it. So yeah, this is what I'm planning for my wildcard for next week. Is the first idea. Salah versus De Bruyne is something I'm going to monitor, but I'm going to have De Bruyne in because De Bruyne's going to go up in price and Salah's going to go down in price, so that's fine. This is the first plan for my wildcard next week. So yeah. This is the plan. I'm going to wrap up the stream now. I think I've been live for like 2 hours and 20 minutes. So I'll post it on Discord when I make the transfers and stuff. Appreciate you all joining. There'll be videos back over the weekend as well for you. Start planning my wildcard. I'll start planning my wildcard for you all. Thank you all guys so much for the support. Anyone who's in here who's joined as a new member, make sure you've dropped me a message on Twitter as well, and I will add you to the group chat. Price changes happen at about 2 o'clock in the morning. I won't be staying up for them. I will do my team before that. Thank you all so much for watching. Good luck in game week. Good luck in game week 8, the one starting tonight, and I'll be back again very soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.